It is 7 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right. Mr. Merritt, can you do a roll call attendance, please? President Courtney Johnson. All right. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning into tonight's meeting. We value our residents and community members, and we want to make sure that everyone who wants to participate and provide input can do so. This meeting is available live via the city's website by clicking on the video link under upcoming meetings on the homepage of cityofcarver.com, or you can join remotely via Zoom conferencing services and provide input. Information related to joining the Zoom conferencing services can be found on the city's website or attached to the agenda for tonight's meeting. We ask that anyone wishing to address council wait to be recognized by the mayor, be respectful, wait for your turn to speak, and don't speak over one another. Callers will still need to provide their names and addresses for the record. All right, with that, can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please? We have a motion by Councilmember Henry.
I'll second.
And a second by Councilmember McKnight. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Aye.
Aye, Christie Meyer. Aye, Lori Sam. Aye, Joy McNair.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. Motion passes. All right, moving on to item number 4 on the agenda, community comments. This is the opportunity for folks to speak about anything that is not on tonight's agenda. And I think everybody is here for reasons that are on the agenda. So with that, I think we will move forward to presentations and reports, number 5.1. The Greg Osterdyke Community Service Award. The Greg Osterdyke Community Service Award is named after Greg Osterdyke, who was the former mayor of Carver. Greg passed away in July of 2019 from complications of leukemia. Shortly after Greg's death, we started thinking about a way that we could honor Greg's memory in a way that was in line with his many contributions to the city of Carver and our larger community. The decision was made to name our annual Community Service Award after Greg, and I could be biased, but I couldn't think of a more perfect way to honor Greg's memory. I met Greg and Lori when I started volunteering on the Steamboat Days community, which is one of the first ways that I got involved in our community once we moved to Carver. Greg was incredibly welcoming and put me to work as the PR gal right away. And I remember the next morning kind of explaining to Zach about the meeting and what we were doing and telling him that I felt so welcomed and such a part of our community. And that was all because of Greg's leadership and him really kind of roping me in and getting me busy and putting me to work. Community service was very important. It was a very important part of who Greg was. Greg was the mayor of the city of Carver from 2011 to 2014. He also was a Lion. He served on the Saints Foundation at St. Francis Hospital, and he was very involved with Guardian Angels Catholic School and so much more. The city of Carver is a better place because of Greg's many, many contributions. This year, the winner of the Greg Osterdyke Community Service Award is a tremendous representation of Greg's outstanding, selfless service to our community. I am now going to hand it off to Greg's wife, Lori Osterdyke, and she can tell you more about this year's winner of the 2020 Greg Osterdyke Community Service Award. Take it away, Lori.
So this year's winner of the Greg Osterdyke Community Service Award is teachers and staff at Carver Elementary. It has been a crazy year. Back in March, when schools were closed and education across the state shifted to distant learning, teachers and staff worked hard to ensure they were empowering students to succeed in tomorrow's world. And even this fall, during transitions from different learning models, their collective efforts to meet new learning challenges during the ongoing pandemic were outstanding. On October 29th, there was a fire at Carver Crossing, which required all of the building residents to evacuate. The staff at Carver Elementary quickly stepped up, welcomed the displaced residents out of the cold and into their building, where they were greeted with warmth and kindness, given snacks, played games while they waited to return to their homes. The staff and teachers at Carver Elementary stayed late to help take care of the neighbors after. One of the Carver Crossing residents had this to say, quote, "Thank you to everyone at Carver Elementary. It was such a comfort to my son and I to be able to wait in a familiar place for the evacuated space." The compassion and empathy and service of the teachers and staff at Carver Elementary exemplify the same level of service to our community as Greg. With that, I am very proud to give the 2020 Greg Osterbeck Community Service Award to the teachers and staff at Carver Elementary. Congratulations, and thank you for everything that you do for us. Greg will be very, very proud.
Yay! Thank you, Lori. And I think June Johnson, the principal of Carver Elementary, is here with us tonight, accepting the award virtually because it's a crazy strange year. But this is, let's see if I can not get, this is what the award looks like. I'm trying to get as least amount of glare and reflection, but it's a really fun looking, if you can see the little logo is a tree with little handprints on it. So kind of to the saying of many hands makes light work, or light work, no work, whatever the saying is, but demonstrating just the commitment. So what it says is the Greg Osterdyke Community Service Award, Carver Elementary, in recognition of the time, support, and service that has been shared to truly make a difference in our community. And then it has the year. So June, we will make sure that we get out there and hand this to you in person, from a distance, however your preference is. But thank you so much. I don't know if you want to say anything, but we really appreciate everything that you guys do for our community.
Well, thank you, Mayor Johnson, council, and residents of Carver. We have many staff on the line tonight also at the meeting. We are incredibly humbled and honored to receive this award. And Lori, I just hear such tremendous things about your husband. And we couldn't be more proud to be able to receive this award. When we were asked about helping to shelter for the people that were displaced from the fire, first thing that came out of our mouth was, "We are here to serve," and that's what we are. We are here to serve our community, and it was amazing. It wasn't a one-person show. It was the staff that just got right in there, and the Carver Elementary staff is a can-do staff. No matter what the hardship is or what's going on, they forge ahead, and it's always about better school and community that we live in. So, on behalf of the staff at Carver Elementary, thank you so very much for this wonderful award and opportunity. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, June. Thank you so much. And staff, there are a lot of folks. I was giving Lori a hard time before the meeting started, saying that this is going to be the most well-attended city council meeting in a long time, and definitely in our new Zoom era. So thank you guys for peeking in tonight, and thank you all for everything you do for our community. Please know how much it's appreciated. So let's just, if you guys can join me in taking yourselves on mute, and let's give the folks at Carver Elementary a round of applause virtually. All right. Thank you, June. Have a great evening. All right. Moving on with the awards, we are going to go to item 5.2, the Employee of the Year Awards. This is also a really fun award to give, and I think the first award that we will be giving away is we generally do 2 awards. This year we have 3. So there are always awards in both the part-time and then the full-time category. So we're going to start Natalie Meyer, who is the award winner for one of the award winners for the part-time category. And so, first of all, the Employee of the Year awards are significant because these are awards that folks win by receiving nominations from their peers. So really, there is very, it's a real feather in your cap to get this award because it means that your peers and other city staff really think very highly of you. So just a few snippets from the award nominations for Natalie. Said, Natalie has been such a critical component to the city, being successful with the work environment changing over the course of this year. Natalie has continually done an excellent job handling customer service questions. Another quote says, Natalie displays all the staff values and her performance this year was no exception. In addition to being reliable and accountable in her daily activities, Natalie stepped forward as a leader during the changes in City Hall during the pandemic. So, Natalie, thank you. We have an award for you here, which is probably going to be even harder to see. Oh, there. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Employee of the Year. It has your name on it, and it says, in appreciation of your commitment to quality and demonstration of staff values is recognized by the City Council and City of Carver employees. So, Natalie, congratulations. I don't know if you want to take a second and say anything.
Yep, I just want to say thank you. And I really enjoy my job. I enjoy the community. And so to be recognized for something that I enjoy doing is just super grateful. So thank you very much.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Natalie. We appreciate having you on the team as well as all of your contributions. So thank you. Again, let's do a round of applause for Natalie. All right. Moving on to our second Employee of the Year award winner in the part-time category. It is Sean Cox. It's funny, I ran into Sean and Lori and Liam a few weeks ago at a flea farm, and I congratulated him on his Employee of the Year award. And it really speaks to Sean's just how humble he is, because, you know, if I was an Employee of the Year, I'd probably lead with that. And the folks that we were speaking with, it was actually Mark Williams and his wife, had no idea and weren't aware of it. So I was able to kind of toot Sean's horn a little bit and share that with them, and hopefully they recognize who they're speaking with the next time they run into him. But as far as what Sean's peers had to say about him on the nomination form, they said he helps with multiple things, from setting up the new truck, running a station at training, and asking questions to constantly learn. We can always trust he will be on calls regularly, an officer on first due engine. Just want to say thank you to Sean for all of his hard work. And then another quote is, Sean is in his first year as an officer, and he has shown true dedication to the department and our community. I see all members of the department relying on him for his kind communication style, his broad knowledge, and understanding of firefighting apparatus and skills, his confidence in EMS care, and his consistent response to calls. Always willing to help out and eager to learn, Sean is such an asset to our department and to the community. So with that, Sean, we will get you this. This one's your award. It says the same thing, in appreciation of your commitment and quality of staff values as recognized by the City of Carver Council and City of Carver employees. So congratulations, Sean. Do you have any thoughts, comments? Thank you, Sean. Congratulations, and we appreciate all of your service. All right, if you all want to join me in a round of applause for Sean. All right, finally we have the full-time category award winner for Employee of the Year, and it is Chad Schell. On the nomination forms, Chad's colleagues say Chad has a real teamwork mentality that has been beneficial. His willingness to support our needs have not gone unnoticed. He truly deserves the Full-Time Employee of the Year award. And then they also say Chad is a genuine, kind, hardworking person. He works hard to understand the processes involved with his new position and is not afraid to ask questions. I think he's doing a very wonderful job. He has a great attitude and is respectful to his staff and coworkers, and very professional with our residents. Chad, this one is your award, and just like the other ones, it says an appreciation of your commitment and quality and demonstration of staff values is recognized by the Carver City Council and City of Carver employees. So, Chad, thank you for your service. We appreciate you stepping up. It's fun watching you move into this role and make it your own, and as you're growing as a leader. So congratulations. You have any? I'll hand the mic over to you if you have any comments.
Thank you. I just want to say that, without the public service system, I don't think they support me as much as I support them. It's an honor and a privilege. Look forward to staying here for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. If you all want to join me in a round of applause for Chad. All right. Thank you to all of the Employee of the Year award winners, and really appreciate all of your service to the community in the city of Carver. Moving on to item number 5.3, our Employee Service Awards. It's always fun to award and recognize our employees who have been around the city for a long time. So the first award winner, or the service award person that we're going to recognize for the service award is Brent Merrick. He is celebrating his 10th year with the city of Carver. So I don't know if you can see your award, Brent. It'll probably look very much like the award that you ordered. Brent, just to put you on the spot, 10 years ago, you started with the city of Carver. Do you remember anything about your first day, or do you have any good stories about kind of your first few days on the job? Okay.
Went by really fast, and just a lot of great people and stories. Just happy to call this place home for more stories and memories too.
Well, thank you, Brent. Let's give Brent a round of applause for his 10 years service. All right, up next is Diane Schwalbe, who is celebrating 15 years of service to the city of Carver. And again, let's see, trying to make that so you can kind of see it, Diane. We will make sure that you get this. Diane, do you have any comments, thoughts, or fun stories from your first maybe days or weeks on the job 15 years ago?
I do. My first day, Paul Schultz took me for a tour of the city, and he showed me where the celery fields used to be, which are like, I didn't believe him, but I guess it's true. It's all along down by Depot Park there.
Oh.
I don't know. I'll keep share. Paul, is that true?
Plot maps for down by Riverside Park. It does say the celery fields, and I do remember talking about it as a kid. So I did forget that I drove you around, but I guess I did.
Yeah, it was the old fire truck, the one that we just sold.
Okay.
The one that used to backfire whenever it was out.
Yes. No, the truck. Yes, but it's a great community to work for.
Well, thank you, Diane. Thank you for your 15 years of service. If you all can join me in a round of applause for Diane. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and then speaking of Paul Schultz, and last but not least, but Paul is celebrating 20 years of service to the city of Carver. So this is his recognition plaque. Paul, 20 years ago, working for a community where you grew up and were familiar enough with the celery fields to take Diane around. Do you have any memories, stories that you can tell about your first days?
I guess I went the same there was that I was on the fire department before I started working for the city
Well, and
I'll let you go.
thank you, Paul. We appreciate your contributions, and I know I can always look forward to you cracking a joke or ripping on my Packers whenever I see you. So
You're
I
playing on Sunday when I see you, so
that's because you forgot that they played Saturday night. And that right there is a demonstration of why we love Paul Schultz. Paul, thank you. Please join me in a round of applause for Paul's 20-year service award. Oh, all right.
Mayor,
Yes?
I need to say a word about Diane and Paul.
Yeah.
Sometimes these service awards kind of get absorbed into the general meeting, but I just want to highlight 15 and 20 years of service to one organization. Y'all, I think, you know, today's world that just doesn't happen. And I think it speaks to the character of Diane and Paul, because there are going to inevitably be days during 15 and 20 years of time in an organization that are better than others. And I think it shows that in their character, they can stick with something even though some days might be a little louder, while other days might be something we're more proud of. I just want to thank them for sticking with us.
Thank you. All right. Council, I don't know if you guys had any other comments for our service or any of our award winners. But I will open it to the floor. Otherwise, we can move along. Hearing none, we will do just that. All right. Thank you all to all of our award winners, our employees of the year, and those who are celebrating service anniversaries in 2020. Thank you very much. Moving on to the public hearings, we will open the public hearing for the 2021 fee schedule. So Ms. Smith and Ms. Sons-Eiden, I don't know which one of you want to take over at this point, but have at it.
Okay, I will start. So, like you mentioned, Vicky and I are going to tag team this event. Some of my information is embedded in the work that she's doing with the 2021 fee schedule. So part of what's required for connection fees is a public hearing. So the connection fees are things like water connection, sewer connection, things that are typically paid for at the time of building permit by a developer. If you think back a couple years, we were working on our long-term financial plan. We identified the water treatment facility as a non-upgrade, and we had some pretty scary numbers for what we were going to be charging for connection fees. And through some staff creative thinking and a lot of time spent together just throwing ideas at a wall, we were able to come up with a plan that reduced the service or the connection fees from what we originally thought. So we did quite a bit of outreach at that point, letting developers know what things were going to be for the next several years. So this public hearing tonight encompasses those fees that are part of our long-term financial plan. So the fees come from the long-term financial plan, knowing the projects that we have, and then the number of building permits we anticipate for the connection fees. So again, the public hearing is only for the connection fees, which is within Vicky's fee schedule, the 2021 fee schedule. So if there are questions specifically for the connection fees, I'm not going to take them. Otherwise, I suspect a longer conversation just about the fee schedule.
All right. With that, are there any public comments about the 2021 fee schedule? All right. Brent, are you able to tell if anybody's watching online? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Doesn't appear to have anyone here right now on the Zoom who is interested in making any public comments. So after all public comments are received, if any, the public hearing will be closed, and then no further comments on this issue will be received at this meeting. With that, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
We have a motion by Councilmember Mock, And a second by Councilmember Sayer. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
I, Chrissy Mock.
I'm Lori Sayer. I, Joy McKnight.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. All right, the motion to close the public hearing passes unanimously. All right, Council, with that, is there any discussion on the fee schedule? Go ahead, Christy.
I have a question about the irrigation permit. It went from 0 to 60. Can you talk a little about why we're looking at fees now for that?
I can take that one. So there was a process that we implemented probably 2 years ago that was an irrigation inspection. And at that time, we did the permit and inspection under just a general plumbing permit instead of calling it an irrigation permit. So it's the same fee, it's just called out to be specifically an irrigation permit, which allows us to track it easier than trying to call all plumbing permits to figure out which ones were irrigation specific. So no change in the fee, just a clarification for the fee schedule.
Okay, that makes sense. I had one more and I'm still looking for it. So if anybody else has a question, go ahead and I'll come back to you.
Glenn, did I see you with a question?
That was my only question, was just whether that was changed from a plumbing fee to irrigation.
Right. Joy, any questions from you? Lori?
No questions. I just really like the change that was made with the village hall for the early entry schedule. I think that just was a good response to community feedback, so thank you.
I do not have any questions, so Christy, we're back to you.
Okay, and my only one actually went along with that, and I just was trying to find the exact number on here. So we had $80 per hour, is that correct, if you wanted to rent the hall as a resident?
Yes, that number was not supposed to be changed at this point.
I'll just make a comment that I still believe right now that that number is too high. That's just, I guess, a statement that I wanted to make about it. I think that actually was my only other comment, was that I just get to will not agree with the dollar amount that we assigned to that. It should be less, but other than that, that's all I have.
Okay.
Just to clarify, Christy, that was for the $80 an hour is the resident fee per hour.
All right, I think we kind of went over all kinds of questions, but Vicki, I wanted to give you the floor. I don't know if you have a presentation or wanted to add anything else.
Yes, I just wanted to refresh everyone's memory that we did go through this particular draft of the fee schedule back at a work session on October 19th. Answer questions at that time. All of the changes that are being proposed are in the packet on the exhibit in red and highlighted in yellow. There were a couple of different things that we did. We deleted some fees that were no longer applicable, changed and added some fees that we felt were necessary, which included changing some dollar amounts for the sanitary licenses, liquor license, adjusted some off the rules and other rental fees that was already mentioned. Changes to the connection fees that you had discussed, water meters, utility rates based on the and we made a couple of changes with building permit fees and all identified and clarified some fees for water connection and massage therapy application. So with that being proposed, the schedule after the October 19th review was that the public hearing was necessary for the connection fees, which you already held for this evening. So tonight I will be looking at a motion to adopt the ordinance to go ahead and make the fees effective on January 1, 2021. By your adoption tonight, we'll publish that in the paper, and then those fees will become effective. And the number of ordinance is 13-20.
All right. Any further questions? Christie?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 13-2020, amending certain fees charged by the city.
We have a motion by Councilmember Mock
Also, that.
and a second by Councilmember Henry. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Aye. Glenn Henry.
Aye, Christie Mock.
Aye, Lori Sayer. Aye, Joy McKnight.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. All right, motion passes 5-0. All right, with that, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
Make a motion for the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Councilmember Henry
Second.
and a second by Councilmember McKnight. Any further discussion? Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Aye. Glenn Henry.
Aye, Christie Mock.
Aye, Lori Sayer. Aye, Joy McKnight.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. Right, motion passes 5-0. On to other business, number 8.1, the 2021 budget and levy. Mr. Merrick.
Mayor and council, the city council consideration of resolutions. One, for your adoption of 2021 property tax levy, and therefore the 2021 budget. For those watching it, just wanted to kind of review the city's process. It might seem like the council's discussion. Council's discussion might be abbreviated as it relates to the budget. But as you can see here, the staff started the budget process. They also kicked off the budget process. Then had a series of 10 meetings. We did it to the enterprise funds, general fund, long-term financial plan. So they looking at it in pieces, it seems manageable. But when you look back at it, it was a fairly comprehensive process. Undertaken by the council and staff. One is just rolled up to the levy history. In the packet, you'll see a full summary of the levy presentation, or the taxation presentation that was provided to the council and residents at the last council. Here's a summary of that. You can see the general levy at just over 2 million, all of the debt service levy, 1.2 million, for a total levy of $3,280,920, which equates to a 6% increase from the 2020 levy. Here you can see the corresponding tax impact and tax rate, dropping from about 49.45 to 45.24 for tax rate. You can see the corresponding preliminary tax rates for our neighboring cities in Carver County. Again, these are preliminary tax rates, so every city in the county is spending the last council meeting adopting the final tax rate. However, you can see the corresponding impact to 300,000 home. We have various examples of the taxation presentation that means that different values, different increases to value, corresponding tax impact. Then finally, a budget summary. Once the council adopts the levy, it has to consider adopting the 2021 budget, following rules. Again, resolutions have been prepared for your consideration. Happy to answer your questions.
All right. Thank you, Brent. Any questions, comments, council? Let's see. Christy is shaking her head no. Glenn?
What page was that? What the? City of Carver City tax rate history, 2014 to 2021, I'll pull that up. Page, looks like 34.
One second.
Thanks, Glenn. Thank you. Joy, anything from you? No? Lori? Okay. The only thing from me is it seems like we're going through this really quick and that it's, very procedural, and it is. Because as Brent kind of demonstrated in the first page of his memo, we have talked about this at 10 meetings since June 1st. So I think we all have a really good idea of it. It's a really quick process at this point in the game, but it definitely wasn't when you take a look at the longer game with it starting in June. So I echo Glenn's sentiments of city staff did a really good job of sharpening the pencil and coming up with a lean budget that includes taking care of all of the city's needs while eliminating the folks or the items from the want category. So very well done, Brent, and to all the department heads who had anything to do with this budget. So with that, can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 156-20, certifying the 2021 property tax levy in the amount of $3,220,948?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 156-20, certifying the 2021 property tax levy in the amount of $3,220,948.
We have a motion by Councilmember Sayre
I'll second.
and a second by Councilmember Mock. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Henry,
Aye.
Councilmember Mott,
Aye, Christie Mott.
Councilmember Sayre,
Aye, Lori Sayer.
Councilmember McKnight,
Enjoy midnight.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. All right. Motion passes 5-0. How about a motion for the budget?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 157-20, approving the 2020 budget.
We have a motion by Councilmember McKnight
I'll second.
and a second by Councilmember Sayre. Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Henry,
Aye.
Councilmember Mott,
Aye, Christie Mott.
Councilmember Sayre,
Aye, Lori Sayer.
Councilmember McKnight,
Aye, Joy McKnight.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. All right. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you all. Moving on to item 8.2, the tax increment district decertification for Mills Fleet Farm. Mr. Merrick.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is probably my first story. This is the first project that I worked on in the city for Larry Harris, Dave Allison, Dan Boyd, and Cindy Nance. Sitting in that little office that I had. The interesting thing about the Mills Tax Increment District is it was special legislation related to the economic downturn. Typically, we won't find the tax increment district for retail or commercial development project. So the city was fortunate enough to marry the construction vector road and then this property to go. And in turn, some 10 years later, nearly $17 million additional value, hundreds of jobs. And I think one of the things that was really talked about at the time was just access to services that didn't have, goods and services that haven't had. So it seems like a long time ago, and things like that. Really wonderful project in the city. So this is kind of the finishing touches that there is a year that I'm hoping the last increment was preparations. Any balance that's left in tax increment account, part of it will be paid put towards the payment of bills to make it whole. But then the balance that is returned to Carver County, and it's a portion prorated out the tax increment that they pay for. So for example, Carver County, Eastern Carver County Schools, the city of Carver, et cetera, will receive that balance as it goes forward in a tax
anybody have any questions? Seeing head shakes from everybody who I can see. All right. This is great to get this decertified. It's great that it happened a year earlier than we are anticipating, and I'm excited to get Mills on the tax rolls. So all good news. With that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 158-20. Resolution relating to the determination of tax increment district number 1-8 and directing decertification thereof by the county auditor.
We have a motion by Councilmember Mock and a second by Councilmember Henry. Any further discussion?
Can I just make a quick note as I'm
You may.
reading the resolution? I have to give Midway, it says City of Nisswa, not City of Carver.
Corrected that. We updated that.
Oh, okay. My link just still has the Nisswa.
It's still showing that he is new.
I refreshed and it's been changed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's just from when I was yesterday. Okay,
Yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Any other discussion? With that, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Aye, Christina.
Councilmember Sanger. You didn't get your vote.
I, Lori Sayer.
Councilmember McLean.
Hi, John McLean.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. All right, motion passes 5-0. Moving right along, plans and specs for the Carver Bluffs lift station. Mr. Lennis, have at it.
Yeah, this is Eric Schmidt. I'm gonna
Oh.
presentation tonight, so.
All right.
Go ahead and jump in. So, yeah, so tonight we're looking at this is one of those projects that was identified in the long-term plan that was project's all about, and for the council authorize the preparation of plans and specs for that project. With that being said, the Carver Bluffs lift station is very important system. This lift station actually serves the majority of the higher 80% of the development comes down this way towards one part of the lift. And this lift station pumps the sewer located on. This station was originally constructed in the 1990s with the development. Done very well for the city, but with the age, well, just like a car or anything else, there comes a time where that this is the time to do that. We're not going to be replacing most of the development, like United, also want to do some exciting things on the site also. So with that being said, as I alluded to, the pump center and the lift station and the accessory that will guide wheels, the pumps that slide up and down on some of the valves inside the station also. We'd be upgrading the control panel just on the outside of the station on the surface. That control panel will be upgraded to current city standards. Obviously, we can tie in the city's SCADA system into that also. So, yeah, this would be able to go to that station, all week, check on it, monitor it, those sorts of things. As far as site improvements goes, would like to allow Chad and his drive up the truck
ahead, Glenn.
How much does it cost to get extra generator?
Extra generator, probably a better idea of all for the gas, and you might jump in.
Or any of the size of those pumps, somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000.
Is that over and above, 175?
No, that's included in it, correct, Eric?
Yes.
For the site improvements, how many site improvements, how many times have we had to have a boom truck in there to do any maintenance or anything on the said pumps that we are replacing?
You do routine maintenance on it quarterly, and then any other time that there's an alarm.
And how much damage have we done to the grass, when we drive out there?
Depends on the season. Depends on the season, spring and fall. Sometimes it can get a little bit rutted up. But currently the issue that we have is that there's no access driveway. So we actually have to drive a pickup over the curb onto the turf for about 40, 50 feet just to get set up to pull a pump.
My question, is that really necessary? I mean, now you're talking about 40, 50 feet of concrete?
If we do it to this or concrete.
Well, as long as we have it there, and the maintenance that we've been doing for the past 25 years, there really been that much of a problem damaging the grass there. I don't really see that. I think
Brent, I see you looking to.
all savings alone on that is, that's a substantial amount.
Would a curb cut? would a
Christy,
curb cut
wait.
suffice there? That helps you get up into the area without having to go over the curb, rather than having that all paved.
You know what? Wait, hold on just a second. Brent, you were trying to make a comment. I'd like to give you an opportunity.
Context, Mayor and Council, the thought behind that isn't the saving of the grass, it's frankly the condition of the ground cover at that time. So if we're in the spring of the year and we grab a heavy piece of equipment there and it gets stuck, we're in a problem. And frankly, consideration, it's a sanitary sewer lift station, so that instant seconds. So I think it's money well spent, because you have that access, you can do that right away. If a pump is down, you can access it, repair it. Or, I agree, it probably does need to be concrete to do this, but,
Could it be class 5?
it could be class 5. I don't think that would be something that the city would allow. We don't allow a new driveway to go into the city. That's class 5, we require pavement, so I hate to be in a position where we're requiring, blacktop, but for our own project, class 5, that tends to, go out to the street, storm drain, so I do think it's an opportunity to save money, but I think there's a perception cost to it.
So, well, if we had class 5, that would also probably have it with the mowers, right? Because it's getting spread out over time. With piggybacking off Glenn's question, I'm sorry you can hear the cat in the background. She's rolling in the doorway. She's outside. But she apparently needs my attention. But okay, she's going now. But if we're getting the new system where there's an alarm now, and I know that we were talking about the urgency of getting in there. If there's no generator there now, is that the urgency that you know, if it goes down, we have to get that generator in, or this time we have a generator?
There is a generator, they're looking at generators already. We have a lot of opportunities for
Joy?
As a resident of Carver Bluffs, I can attest, I've seen the generator parked out there quite a few times. So I'm delighted to see us address that issue, rather than seeing that generator sit out there and go, Lord, what is that helping? And I actually really support the access way because I have seen trucks out there, and it's a narrow entry into that park, period. There is a dirt parking lot that the DNR has, or U.S. Fish and Wildlife has off to the left, and then you have to make a quick turn to get into the parking area. And I have seen vehicles either kind of along that entryway. I don't know if it's city vehicles or whatever, but I've seen that, and it's in the way. So I actually support having a separate place to park a vehicle if there is maintenance actually happening. That would be less impactful to any traffic in or out of that.
Thank you, Joy. Lori?
I don't have any concern with what's presented. It's something I can support. It's not at all my area of expertise, so just based on the recommendations that the engineering firm has made.
I thought you were a generator gal. Guess not. I also support it. So the budget for the lift station, the generator, and for the access drive is estimated to be no more than $250,000, correct? Okay. 250, 175 is the limit for which they have to get bids. I also don't have any issues with that. This is something that we've seen before, and it's in the long-term plan. The threat of this thing breaking down and malfunctioning is a really, really gross scenario, and I certainly don't want to see that. So I think it's for the best that we get this taken care of and that we get it taken care of the right way the first time. With that, unless there are any, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to authorize the incorporation of plans and specifications for the Carver Bluffs lift station rehabilitation project.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Sayer.
Second.
And a second by Councilmember McKnight. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Aye, Lori Sayer.
Hi, Christy Mike.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye, Courtney Johnson.
Aye, Joy McKnight.
What I did there, I missed one, and then I did it.
Messing us up.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Communications 9.1, the pandemic response update. Mr. Merrick.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you know, every Monday, the county was the agency, state, happy to report they have it. They did know today that cases in our county are trending down over the last several weeks. So at this point, I'm not inclined to change any actions that we're taking, but I'm happy to talk about the response that we had. I just think the balance of at least of the holiday season is going to be great status, and we're going to take a hard look at taking some steps towards normalcy at the January 4th. Again, that's just my perspective. I know there are other communities that was out of this, so I'm happy to have a discussion and answer questions.
Thoughts, comments, questions on this?
I mean, keeping the service counter closed for right now, especially over the holidays when things tend to wind down a little easier anyways, it just seems to make sense to me. So I'd rather look at it again at our first meeting in January.
I concur.
Lori? You're on mute.
Sorry, yes. Oh, I concur.
Okay. Glenn? Okay. I'm fine with that. as well. Kind of through all of this, our barometer has been the school district, and while they continue to be closed, mostly again because it's the holidays, but they're not going back until later on in January. So I think the prudent time to discuss this again is in 2 weeks at our next meeting. So, all right, council member communications. Joy, do you have anything?
I have nothing. I missed the Carver Business Alliance meeting. Friday.
Right. Christy?
Sure, I have a couple things. Excuse me, did not make it to the HPC meeting that we had. I had some technical difficulties. And by the time I got logged on, it was a meeting and it was over. So, the liquor store came to the HPC with, their sign, and it wasn't. I don't know, Aaron, if you had any other comments from Jessica that you wanted to relay. Then this weekend I was down at Riverside Parks, which had this one. We know we're having some erosion that's happening down there, but campsite 1 and 2, where the campfire pits are, the fire pits are. I think, well, we can still get in there before the spring thaws. If we can get those fire pits maybe 10 feet back off of the bank before we use them next spring. Nice. And then I had some fortunate news about the Soggy Bottom this year. So we normally hold the Soggy Bottom golf tournament down at Riverside Park in January. We are not pursuing having a person event this year. With the governor's mandates right now, we don't know what will happen in mid-January when it comes back on, and we're going to around in 2 weeks. So we are going to be doing something a little bit different this year. There will be more information to come, just for the city-wise. We will be doing some part of the that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Christy. Glenn?
We're gonna have our wedding this month. Other than that, sorry with this last meeting, but, life is all good, we're all back on, and wish everybody a happy holiday season, and peace.
Thank you, Glenn. Lori?
I do have an update. We had a Parks Commission meeting this month, and a lot of focus on trails as far as, how do we identify them, when you're looking at a map, and how do we refer to them. So there may be some things coming up with the naming of trails, and just having that all easy to read with maps and then future.
All right. Thank you, Lori. I have a little bit of a laundry list. A couple weeks ago, I think it was December 10th, we had Shop with a Hero at Fleet Farm, which Deputy Sandberg is really the one who organizes all of that. We had members of the Sheriff's Department as well as the Fire Department who each paired up with a child, a couple of children, and then took them shopping. They were given a $50 gift card to either shop for themselves or their family members for the holidays. And some of the kids did an amazing job of really getting a lot of gifts, a lot of bang for their $50. So thank you to everybody who was involved with that. This year we had a special guest appearance by Santa Claus, which was also fun, and it was just a really great event. Last week, we had the kickoff meeting for the DNR flood mitigation grant, which is really cool. That's the $150,000 grant that has a 1-to-1 match that we got from the DNR through their funding that they received in the last bonding bill. So super exciting to see that actually really happening. So all good news there. Last Friday morning, we had a community leaders meeting, which Joy was the reason why I missed the business council. So I'm not the one who has an update for you, but we will see if maybe Aaron can give an update, or Brent a little bit later on. The community leaders, that's the school district one, that Brent and I both attend, and it was a lot of updates from the cities, the school district. At that point, when we met on Friday, the governor had announced all of the bringing the elementary schoolers back on Wednesday, I believe it was. So the school district is still trying to figure things out, but they have promised to keep us in the loop as soon as they they know what their plan and procedures will be to bring kids in the lower elementary grades back, hopefully in mid to late January, I believe is the timing on that. Charlie Mack Salon had their grand opening, and we did a ribbon cutting down there, which was a lot of fun a couple weeks ago. I attended the Parks Commission meeting, which I always try to attend at least one of each of the commission meetings each year, so I finished my rounds with that, and it was really good to connect with that group and to hear what they're doing. I met, we have another new business downtown. It's called Red Oak Relocation, and the owner's name is John, and what he does is just like the name implies. If you get a new job and are being relocated, they take care of kind of all of the logistical matters for that. So good to have another business downtown. They are located right next door, just due north of the Carver Creamery. Let's see, Quick Trip opened, in case you didn't hear, which is a really fun addition to our community. It's a really nifty little store. They've got a lot of great coupons, and I highly recommend their cinnamon rolls. I think the last, but certainly not least, there is another round of small business loans that is available to businesses in Carver County. And so what happened is there's a total of $4 million that's to be given away. $2 million of that is from the state, from the relief bill that they came up with last week, and then another $2 million is from Carver County, which it's my understanding that that's kind of leftover CARES Act money and funding. So small businesses can apply for grants of up to $20,000. Bars and restaurants can get up to $40,000. So I have sent out an email to all of the businesses in Carver just to give them a heads up. This money will be given away through the Carver County CDA, and Elise Durbin over there is the one who is leading all this up. So their website still the CDA's website still says coming soon, but I've shared Elise's contact information and where to keep an eye to where the information on these grants will be made available when that time comes. We're anticipating that that will be something that is posted and is publicized right around the first of the year. So stay tuned on that, and thanks to Erin for helping me kind of compile all that information and share it.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
For the restaurants and people from the CDD money, is that something that we as the city are going to then notify them that it's become available, or we have an expectation that they'll have to find it themselves?
So that was kind of, so where I came from with the email that I sent out on Friday is I wanted to make sure that all of our business owners, but especially the bar owners, knew about this. So that's why I sent an email. It's a huge amount of money, and quite frankly, some of it, especially from the county side, is my understanding that it's available because it wasn't used up entirely during the first round of grant funding. So making sure, I just felt like I needed to kind of do my part to make sure that folks knew. So I think that box, as far as the city letting folks know what's available, is taken care of. That box has been checked.
Okay.
Yep. With that, that's it for my update. Brent, Aaron, do you want to give an update from the Business Alliance meeting?
That's what I was gonna say.
So we've had a couple meetings since our last council meeting. Probably the group has gotten together in a really inspiring and different way over the past couple weeks. Where they are wanting to do a lot more cross marketing for each other. So they've come up with some really fun ideas
Thank you, Erin. Brent, any other updates?
Not an update, just kind of want to recognize that was something that you probably didn't know, but we, I don't think we chat there a lot of times. How thankful the team is, civility, regular kindness, and there's also the short days of the pandemic. Not every city council has the same kind of approach to the pandemic, and so your willingness to be flexible and work with us on the individual needs and goals is appreciated, and so I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of the folks that you don't have regular interactions with, and just kind of highlight just what a year it's been. I kind of laughed a little bit during the statement of the year as you're on you have had that sense of me like 500 times. 2021 is going to be really phenomenal. Think about it, this time next year, Jonathan Carver Park should be done. I totally jinxed myself. I'll take blame for it, but if you think about how significant that project will be, how significant waterfront plant is, our strategic planning, I should mention, was an update that we're making some progress on that. I did send an email out on available dates. I'll send that out again. I don't have everybody's availability for that. It was an interesting 2020. Thank you to the team and to the council for it.
Thank you, Brent. With that, unless anybody else has anything else, we can adjourn our last meeting of 2020 with a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn our last meeting in 2020.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Bach and a second by Councilmember Henry. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Mayor, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Aye, Christina.
Aye, Lori Sayer.
Aye, Courtney Johnson. All right, motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Happy New Year.